A gravel road is a type of unpaved road surfaced with gravel that has been brought to the site from a quarry or stream bed. They are common in less developed nations, and also in the rural areas of developed nations such as Canada and the United States. In New Zealand, and other Commonwealth countries, they may be known as metal roads. They may be referred to as dirt roads in common speech, but that term is used more for unimproved roads with no surface material added. If well constructed and maintained, a gravel road is an all-weather road. Characteristics: construction. Compared to sealed roads, which require large machinery to work and pour concrete to lay and smooth a bitumen-based surface, gravel roads are easy and cheap to build. However, compared to dirt roads, all-weather gravel highways are quite expensive to build, as they require front loaders, dump trucks, graders, and road rollers to provide a base course of compacted earth or other material, sometimes macadamized, covered with one or more different layers of gravel. Graders are also used to produce a more extreme camber compared to a paved road to aid drainage, as well as to construct drainage ditches and embankments in low-lying areas. Cellular confinement systems can be used to prevent the washboarding effect. Materials: the gravel used consists of varying amount of crushed stone, sand, and fines. Fines are silted clay particles smaller than 0.75 mm, which can act as a binder. Crushed stone is used because gravel with fractured faces will stay in place better than rounded river pebbles. A good gravel for a gravel road will have a higher percentage of fines than gravel used as a subbase for a paved road. This often causes problems if a gravel road is paved without adding sand and gravel-sized stone to dilute the percentage of fines. A gravel road is quite different from a gravel drive, popular as private driveways in the United Kingdom. This uses clean gravel consisting of uniform, rounded stones and small pebbles. Laterite and muram roads. In Africa and parts of Asia, laterite soils are used to build dirt roads. However, laterite, called muram in East Africa, varies considerably in the proportion of stones to earth and sand. It ranges from a hard gravel to a softer earth embedded with small stones. Not all laterite and muram roads are therefore strictly gravel roads. Laterite and muram, which contains a significant proportion of clay, becomes very slippery when wet, and in the rainy season, it may be difficult even for four-wheel drive vehicles to avoid slipping off very cambered roads into the drainage ditches at the side of the road. As it dries out, such laterite can become very hard, like sun-dried bricks. Maintenance. Gravel roads require much more frequent maintenance than paved roads, especially after wet periods and when accommodating increased traffic. Wheel motion shoves material to the outside, leading to rutting, reduced water runoff, and eventual road destruction if unchecked. As long as the process is interrupted early enough, simple regrading is sufficient, with material being pushed back into shape. Segments of gravel roads on grades also rot easily as a result of flowing water. When grading or building the road, water bars are used to direct water off the road. As an alternative method, humps can be formed in the gravel along the road to impede water flow, thereby reducing rutting. Another problem with gravel roads is washboarding, the formation of corrugations across the surface at right angles to the direction of travel. They can become severe enough to cause vibration in vehicles so that bolts loosen or cracks form in components. Grading removes the corrugations, and reconstruction with careful choice of good quality gravel can help prevent them reforming. Additionally, installing a cellular confinement system will prevent the washboard-like corrugations from occurring. Gravel roads are often found in cold climates because they are less vulnerable to freeze-thaw damage than asphalt roads. The inferior surface of gravel is not an issue if the road is covered by snow and ice for extended periods. periods. Driving. Although well-constructed and graded gravel roads are suitable for speeds of 100 km/h, driving on them requires far more attention to variations of the surface, and it is easier to lose control than on a paved road. In addition to potholes, ruts and loose stony or sandy ridges at the edges or in the middle of the road, problems associated with driving on gravel roads include sharper and larger stones cutting and puncturing tires, or being thrown up by the wheels and damaging the underside, especially puncturing the fuel tank of unmodified cars, stones skipping up hitting the car body, lights or windshields when two vehicles pass at high speed, dust thrown up from a passing vehicle reducing visibility, washboard corrugations cause loss of control or damage to vehicles due to excessive vibration, skidding on mud after rain, vehicle fishtailing as a result of ruts in the surface of the gravel. In higher rainfall areas, the increased camber required to drain water and open drainage ditches at the sides of the road often cause vehicles with a high center of gravity, such as trucks and off-road vehicles, to overturn if they do not keep close to the crown of the road. Tire wear increases by 40 to 50% on gravel roads. Excess dust permeates door opening rubber molding, breaking the seal. Lost binder in the form of road dust when mixed with rain will wear away the painted surfaces of vehicles. Many gravel roads are only one lane wide or slightly larger, thus requiring special attention when driving at higher speeds. Related types. Forest Service Road. A Forest Service Road is a type of rudimentary access road, built by the Forest Service to access remote undeveloped areas. These roads are built mainly for the purposes of the logging industry and forest management workers, although in some cases they are also used for backcountry recreation access. Networks of tributary roads branch off from a trunk FSR. Roads are usually named after a regional district, and branches have an alphanumeric designation. Typically, a high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicle is required to travel effectively on a road, especially where large potholes and/or water bars are present. Switchbacks are employed to make the road passable through steep terrain. These roads rapidly fall into disrepair and quickly become impassable. Remnants of old roads can exist for decades. They are eventually erased by washout, erosion, and ecological succession. Logging roads. Logging roads are constructed to provide access to the forest for logging and other forest management operations. They are commonly narrow, winding, and unpaved, but main haul roads can be widened, straightened or paved if traffic volume warrants it. The choice of road design standards is a trade-off between construction costs and haul costs. A road that serves only a few stands will be used by relatively few trucks over its lifetime, so it makes sense to save construction costs with a narrow, winding, unpaved road that adds to the time of these few trips. A main haul road serving a large area, however, will be used by many trucks each day, and each trip will be shorter if the road is straighter and wider, with a smoother surface. Logging trucks are generally given right-of-way. In areas where this practice is regulated, non-highway roads with heavy logging traffic may be radio-controlled, which is to say a CB radio on board any vehicle on the road is advised for safety reasons.